People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. I know us Arsenal fans, after what has been a whirlwind of a season filled with different emotions, 2024 has been amazing for us. We have only lost once in 2024 in the Premier League, but you could argue it has come at the worst time, and it is a bit of a deflate now. Where our team is concerned, the show must go on. We've got Wolves at the weekend. We've got Bayern Munich tomorrow. In between, let's assess what's going on with the latest news, views, and rumours in relation to our football club. As usual, one love for tuning in. Let me share my screen with you lot. Smash the like button, get the creative juices flowing, and let's get over stuff. Now, well, to be fair, Aston Villa, I would say it did highlight wanting a striker because we didn't create many chances to the capacity I believe our free-flowing team can. But we do have a knack of, wow, I think the goals are spread out and stuff. We need a proven goal scorer. You know, the man that typically plays up front for us, whether that's Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, Trossard, they all have the ability to score. Some have been kinder on that front than others, but I wouldn't describe them as necessarily clinical. And there's no way of denying it. We need a striker or another reinforcement or reinforcements where attacking options are concerned to turn some defeats into draws, some draws into victories, more goals, more points, etc., etc. Now, apparently, you know, rumors have said Arsenal have reportedly narrowed down their search for a new striker, and we've got three names. We've got Victor Gyökeres, Benjamin Sesko, and Joshua Zirkzee. Now, I like all three of them, you know, I really do. Gyökeres is the man of the moment. It's hard to ignore, you know, him taking the Portuguese league by storm and performing really well for Sporting Lisbon off the back of going to Coventry. And the rumours are getting more aggressive, not just to Arsenal, but to Arsenal, to Chelsea, to Manchester United. And I do believe at 25 years of age, I don't know him religiously, but the more I do my research, the more I assess his strengths and weaknesses, I do think he's an Arteta player. Obviously, he can score goals. That's what we need our striker to do at base level. But he comes with goals. He works the channels. He's got link-up play, can operate as a target man. All the things I would want to see in a forward, he has that. Joshua Zirkzee, I don't think he has the strongest return in terms of goals, but I do think he has a big future in the game wherever he ends up. And when I think of him, I think of playmaking. He's really, again, keeping up the theme with being a multifunctional striker where it's a bit harsh. It's a double-edged sword. You know, you have someone historically like Lukaku where you can score goals for fun, but your question marks for your general play. You look at Haaland, that man is just about goals. You could score 20 goals or be the top goal scorer and all of those things. People will still say, oh, but your heat map, it just shows you're central. You don't do much. Likewise, you could be a striker that's very good for the system. In an Arteta system, you press well, you drop deep, you work the channels, you link up play spot on and stuff like that. But if you don't score enough goals, we have the conversations. Just look at the rhetoric around Aubameyang's goal scoring exploits and his lack of general play, or Lacazette's general play and lack of proactiveness in scoring consistent goals. I like them more. I think, you know, Gyökeres, 25 years of age, has a certain level of foundation that the other two don't, that I could see probably hitting the ground running. Zirkzee, I really like his general play and his link-up play, not necessarily his goal-scoring return, because I think he's got 10-11, which is respectable, but isn't exactly amazing. But I do think there's raw ingredients in him to be a success at Arsenal or elsewhere. And we all know I'm a big fan of Benjamin Sesko. I think he's very raw, but I think he's a striker that in the next 2-3 years, people, if we're having this conversation, will revisit. And I think he could help us. I think they all had to. If I had to rank it, you know, non-bias aside, I would say, you know, the 25-year-old Victor Gyökeres is probably the best bet. Second, I would go for Sesko, and then Joshua Zirkzee third. If I had to say what I would want, Gyökeres, I think, is more likely to deliver immediate results, if I'm honest. But I think there's a lot of upside for 40-50 million quid where Benjamin Sesko's release clause is. So I would say Sesko first, Gyökeres second, and Zirkzee third. But I like them more, and I'd be happy to get any of the three at this football club, really and truly. So apparently, you know, let me know your thoughts and smash the like button. Which one would you want out of those? Again, every article you read is another sort of rumor or link or different spin on stuff. Arsenal likely to test waters with bid for Gyökeres. Arsenal expect to lodge an offer, apologies, for the Sporting striker Victor Gyökeres after boss Mikel Arteta has set his sights on improving his forward options. I do think the Villa game highlighted our need for a central midfielder or midfielders generally, but continuing this, The Gunners are confident they can help the Sweden international to build on a productive season in the Portuguese top flight, as he has unfulfilled potential. And just because we've been linked with Diamande, a player we've looked at on the 20s level, followed him in Denmark, following him now at Sporting Lisbon, obviously if we're going to go and watch him, then we have to have ran the rule significantly over not just him but Gyökeres as well. We all know, but Arsenal are likely to head to Sporting with a lucrative bid for Victor Gyökeres when the summer transfer window opens for business, despite the Emirates Stadium hierarchy being keen to avoid forking out the entirety of his release clause, give me sports sources have revealed. We all know we're not afraid to spend money where we can. We're prepared to put big money down for Mudryk. We signed Declan Rice for 105 million. We signed Kai Havertz for 65 million odd quid, people. So yeah, I'd imagine Arsenal or anyone, nobody wants to pay his 100 million euros, 85 million pound release clause. If you can negotiate that or make it that sort of fee, but add-ons and all of that sort of jazz, then in business, that's what you'd want to do. There's a growing feeling that Arsenal are preparing to test the waters with an offer for Gyökeres in the summer, but the Premier League table toppers, not anymore, are looking to resist the temptation to trigger the 85 million pound release clause written into his Sporting contract, people. So we'll have to see. Ben Jacobs has also told Give Me Sport the North Londoners have been scouting the Sweden international ahead of moving for him, people. And apparently we've been handed optimism because AC Milan could struggle to meet Sporting Lisbon's demands for the 25-year-old, especially if Rafa Leao stays at the club. So we'll have to see how that goes. HITC has said, and they understand Manchester United are showing an interest in Gyökeres, but they fear Liverpool could scupper their chances of landing him. So that's Liverpool and Man United added into the mix of Chelsea and Arsenal, people. In that regards, Man United, it makes sense for them to want another striker, easing on the burden of young Højlund, who I think is decent. I thought they would move for Tony, but they've been linked here, people, and they're revamping their scouting department. So maybe one of the new scouts has suggested this, people. Liverpool are also in the mix, as it says here, people. Obviously, Ruben Amorim, a manager who brought Gyökeres to Sporting Lisbon, and his agent, Gyökeres' agent, has come out and basically said if Amorim leaves, it's difficult for Gyökeres to stay. So maybe that's the Liverpool links. Maybe there's legitimacy in Liverpool wanting a striker. You'd imagine they have other areas to assess as well, people. So yeah, people. Arsenal and Chelsea are both keeping tabs on Gyökeres and have held talks with intermediaries, having watched him on numerous occasions. Apparently, Newcastle also appreciate him. Manchester United have made a move, and apparently Gyökeres is open to a move, or more than open to a move to Old Trafford. Banter aside, again, logistically, if Man United asks for you, you listen. If Liverpool asks, you listen. If Chelsea asks, you listen. If Arsenal asks, you listen. With what Newcastle are developing, you listen. If Spurs asks, now I'm lying with that one, but you get it with the others. So who knows, people? And they've also, what it's worth, been linked with Elise, who's been linked with PSG. Wirtz, who I'd love at the carpet after his exploits for Bayern Leverkusen. Congratulations to him, Leverkusen, and Xhaka for winning the title. And Nico Williams is a player forever linked with Arsenal Football Club. What's this? Lenny Yoro links. I actually have a Yanni Loro video that I haven't released. I might get a thumbnail and get that out. It is a few months old. Apparently, he's increasingly unlikely to sign a new contract at Lille, and apparently Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man United are all watching him. He's been aggressively linked with Real Madrid, and with their youth project, they probably need another centre half. It makes sense for the 18-year-old if he was to go there, people. He broke through at 17, held as the new Van Dijk, not just because he's light skinned and got the hair, but quality player. We all know there's something special in the water in France, and every couple of months there's a new regen respawning. Once again, people, apparently Arsenal have moved on from Victor Osimhen, people, as his 130 million pound release clause is far too high, and Benjamin Sesko, Gyökeres, and Zertsky are all preferred targets. Where Zinchenko is concerned, he has 2 years remaining on his Arsenal contract. Typically, the moment clubs decide whether to renew or sell. At a time when Arsenal have negotiated new deals with impressive efficiency, they have not yet entered significant talks with Zinchenko. With 2 years left on him, with him being the first inverted fullback to come in, with his transferable experience from Manchester City, what does that tell you then? Because he should and is and was a key player for Arsenal Football Club. We are a better defensive side this year, but we made significant improvements last year, and he was part of that for all his deficiency. So I think that says everything. Maybe he's just not a priority in that regards. Maybe we're open to selling him, maybe we're open to reinforcements, but I think Zinchenko should be a squad player. I think he's got a lot of strengths, but ultimately his weaknesses are highlighted 9 times out of 10. I don't think he's as athletic as some of his teammates slash fellow competitors for the fullback position. I think as we become a bit more creative and all-rounded, and definitely if we address that left centre mid-8 position, I think the pros to his game, become diminished. And again, I'm not saying to necessarily sell him, because I think there is a use for him, but he is a bit of a hazard, and we're going to learn certain lessons time after time again that he's not a natural defender. Gunner blog / The Athletic have also said Arsenal's to-do list for the summer includes the acquisition of a new left back. Could that be Jeremy Hatto or any of the players we're consistently linked with? I don't know. Romano has spoken as well on Zinchenko. Has said, as been reported, I can confirm that it's a possibility for Arsenal to go for a new left back in the summer. It's not guaranteed yet because they still have to hold more meetings to discuss their summer plans, but a new left back is one of the possibilities for the summer transfer window. Now, does Mikel Arteta have other layers that he wants to add to the team? Is it because of, we're waiting to see how Timber reacts with his ACL? Unfortunately, Tomiyasu and Zinchenko get injured a lot. Kiwior has obviously done well at left back and deserves to play a lot more, and didn't deserve necessarily to be dropped against Aston Villa. But is there plans for him to play centre half, or plans in general? Because on the face of it, we do appear relatively well stocked at left back. But when you go through the season, the bodies start dropping. But you would imagine someone has to leave. I would say Timber's definitely not leaving. Every player's got a price. Tomiyasu just signed a new deal. I wouldn't let him leave. I think Kiwior is good for the squad, but if he wants to get more first-team football and play on a regular basis, and links to Italian clubs don't go away, maybe the club will say, do you know what? Let's make some money and keep it moving. I'm not too sure, people. There's also been some speculation about the future of Zinchenko, but my understanding is that nothing has been discussed yet with him. The full focus is on the final weeks of the season before that. Maybe, with Zinchenko's injuries and his diminishing role, the club just don't see his new contract as a priority, and maybe he needs to prove he deserves one. But if there really is 40-odd million shouts and we're moving for another left back, and the way Arsenal are going in, I wouldn't necessarily force Zinchenko out the door, but everyone's got a price, really, and especially if you get 35, 40-odd million quid for Zinchenko, fair enough. Some Arsenal fans, including myself, probably wonder why isn't he utilised in midfield on a more regular basis to hide his deficiencies at left back, but that's another debate in itself. But let me know you lot's thoughts, people. Again, we've gone over this short list for the striker stuff, people, so I won't keep boring you lot with that. Let's close that. Bruno Guimaraes, a player I would love at Arsenal Football Club, as well as Martin Zubamendi. Fabrizio Romano has allegedly played down the Arsenal links, people, and he will cost a lot of money. Guimaraes has been excellent for Newcastle, and so he has been linked with all the clubs in the Premier League, basically, which is normal. But let's wait for concrete contact, serious talks before mentioning 10 clubs per week. He's obviously appreciated around Europe, but it's not something happening right now. Fair enough. And also rumours with Alexander Isak won't go away. A player I'd love at Arsenal, but him and Guimaraes are going to cost a lot of money. Jeremy Frimpong aimed a dig at Arsenal as Xhaka, celebrated winning the league title with Leverkusen. I'm not going to, add salt into the wounds after defeat against Aston Villa by going over that. Arsenal are looking at bringing in a £70 million rated striker to the Emirates. Again, Josh Rezerski links won't go away. Ainsley Maitland-Niles has said his love for Arsenal will never die. And you wonder, if had he stayed at Arsenal, could he have played and filled in at left back? Apparently, Barcelona working to renew 16-year-old midfield whiz kid amid Arsenal interest. Mark Bernal, I got his name right, is a very talented young player. But again, with Brexit laws, I'm not too sure of that. Of course, he's probably got interest from several clubs in and around Europe. And Barcelona, it feels like La Masia is finally kicking again. Arsenal, Leverkusen, and Juventus have all been linked. I don't know if that's going to be something, but he is a very talented player, people. AC Milan won't go away where Zerkzee is concerned. Somerville's doing quite well for Leeds, and I wonder if he will stay at Leeds. Kenan Yildiz is set to sign a new deal at Juventus. He's almost exclusively been linked with Arsenal as he makes inroads at Juventus, so we can put that one to fire. To the fire. Apparently, there's been links that Juventus want to sign Gabriel Jesus, so you can imagine with the creative journalism, you can see how a swap deal starts to develop. But I think that one's dead in the water. Solanke rumours won't go away. Tottenham, Arsenal, and West Ham are all keen on a potential deal for Bournemouth striker Solanke. If we're going for an English striker, for me, it has to be Ollie Watkins. I've been saying that, and a lot of that is obviously off the basis of how he been performing this season with his 19 goals and how he performed against Arsenal in our defeat at the Emirates. Raphinha, who finally looked like a Barcelona player, or the Raphinha of old, with his performance in the first leg of the Barcelona PSG game. I will be doing a watch along for that later today, Tuesday. So join me 10 minutes until kickoff, 7:50 p.m. Apparently, Barcelona have reportedly rejected a £60 million bid for Raphinha from an unnamed Premier League club. Now, that could be anyone. That could be Newcastle with their money. That could be Liverpool. I suspect that they're probably overselling that, but Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, have all been linked with him, so that could be something. And we all tried to, well, Arsenal and Chelsea tried to sign him the summer he went to Barcelona. I don't think he wants to give up on his Barcelona dream just yet, people. But yeah, there's been a bid rejected, and you'd imagine he's happy where he currently is. On Charlie Patino, Romano has said, at the moment, there are no talks between Patino and Arsenal over a new deal. So it's a possibility that the young midfielder is to leave the club in the summer. But I'm told that the final decision will be made at the end of the season when there'll be talks with the players' reps. Let's see how that conversation will go. And it seems a bit clouded where midfield is concerned, people. And you'd imagine Charlie Patino, based on how talented he is and what he's of recently struggling to get in the Swansea side, but he's done well at Swansea and Blackpool. You can imagine him and Mika Bereth could be some players to make quick profit on. You throw in the Ramsdales, the Nelsons, the Smith Rowes, the Nketiahs, the Tavareses, the Tierney's, and Arsenal could make some bank in terms of sales in the summer. So we'll have to see. I wouldn't want to see Charlie leave, but at the end of the day, 2021, throw in England international camp. In midfield as well, who can play there. Jorginho and Partey play there. Jorginho and Partey. Another thing you'd imagine Arsenal get. I don't know. I would love to see 11 starting. Club, the opportunities are how Chelsea have generally been. What Man City's lost, if you can ever. Must admit, I'm a bit jealous of it. Gyökeres, don't forget to smash the like button and leave a comment. We're trying to get to 60k subs, sooner rather than later. We're trying to get to 70 by the end of the year. So make sure you're smashing the like button, you're engaging, you're doing what you can for the YouTube algorithm. You lot stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.